Good morning, everybody. This is Chrisi from Solstice ATR and Falcon Capital Research. Hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. First of all, we are approaching end of the year. There's 2 more days left out of the decade. So we start 2020. So we're left with Monday and Tuesday. First of all, I would like to say a lot of people try to accomplish goals beginning of the year. They set them up, and now none of them will do what they set up because it's too hard to continue, or sometimes they just let it go. Try to set up things that make sense to you and don't try to make it hard. Success comes from being driven in a positive way. Progress is not an enhancing what is, but advancing towards what you can do to be successful. And once again, don't set up a goal that's too hard to accomplish because you won't get it done. Please do things that are simple in order to succeed. Well, on Thursday, we had an overnight high on the Fortune 500, and Friday we sold off. Is this the high for end of the year? I do have two areas I'd like to concentrate on. One is the 32.29, one is around the 3200, 3208 area. I'm going to call it 3205 area for two reasons. What I want to do is go from the daily. We are in an up channel. We got two faster cones going up. We're trying to see if we can go up to the top or eventually fail. If I see the 29 reject, this may be setting up for a downtrend, and I will be doing next week between Wednesday and Thursday an overall look on the 2020 and where we can head to. So let's go down and break it down step by step from the daily. I'm going to go to a time frame. Intraday, I'm going to go from an intraday 90 days outlook. Instead of 5 minute, I'm going to go all the way to 4 hour. And the reason why I am doing this, I want to show you those areas that we can either continue higher or fall through because we still have so many gaps we never filled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gaps that we never filled in the overnight. And there's a reason why I took the overnight off, to show you it is possibility of filling those gaps. Before we go into them, the 31.50 is very important area in 29 for me because this is the consolidation area where we did the Christmas holiday 3 days trading light volume and we went higher. On Thursday, that was the overnight high, and Friday we sold off. So we have Thursday, Wednesday, and Tuesday. You see that Tuesday was actually the Christmas holiday and stuff. What happened Christmas Eve? Overseas markets, some of them don't celebrate Christmas. They traded that through the market. So I want you to understand there's this area here, and we have this area, the 3208 area, 3203, 3200. If we fall to them, that's the second gap we will fill. Eventually come back to the backside of these two channels in the 50 SMA in case the new year starts on the other side of the fence. If it continues higher, keep an eye because we are stacking about 11 VPOCs, which we never revisited from all the way from November, I believe, the 6th through the 10th, and all the way going up. We only had one reset. We took out a couple and we continued higher, grinding. So be careful of that. So this is the important thing about looking at the S&P 500 and the gaps. If I come down on a 15-minute 5 days, you can see that the overnight wasn't shown here, just showing the daily activity. We opened, we sold off, we tried to go back to 40, couldn't go up. We came back to the 42, 45 area consolidation and fell back down to the prior Thursday action where we went higher. We came back to that 42, 43 area and fell down to the 36. So if I put the volume profile up, it shows there's this gap, small gap here. We don't have a gap here from Wednesday. You can see it here between this candle and this candle, the close. But we had price action during the day on Monday through Tuesday. Monday was the action, side action going sideways. Actually, we had an inside this area. We went into it, touched it, and went back up and continued on Thursday to the high. Then Friday, we opened high and came back down. If I go to the style, and show the setting. Inside the setting, I got the appearance, go to futures and show extended hours, highlight extended hours. This will, you can do that to the options. You can do that in the equities as well. You push apply, and now this is the highlighted area from the overnight action from Thursday through Friday. We looked up and we fell back in the range of the Thursday action. This was the Tuesday action around the holidays, because remember, Thursday we came back to work. We had Wednesday and Tuesday half a day action, and on Monday we had the same range from before. This is the Friday action. This is the Monday action. This is the Tuesday action. Then we went back higher. So my eyes are at the 34 to 29 area if we fall through them to fill part of the gaps. Okay. So this is the S&P 500. If I go back on the daily and take a look at the Nasdaq and everything else, they're going to show the same situation, going up in the same direction. The Dow, this is the YM, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Apple sold off. We're getting a hanging man right here. So keep an eye what's going on in the market and the technicals. Take a look at the NQ. Similar situation, hanging man or inverted head and I mean, instead of they call it, inverted hammer. And this is the Thursday action. This is the Friday action. So NQ similar situation. Let's take a look at the Russell. This is what I am kind of concerned. The RTY was supposed to continue all the way up on the weekly. On Friday, it was the small cap, the first thing that sold off in the market heavier than most actions. If I go to a 3-year weekly, you can see we were trying to consolidate in here. We broke up. I had this oval area where we started in this area. You see it where we fell down from those two candles, and this one started the move. We didn't get to this area here on the weekly chart. Do we still continue to go higher, or are we getting on the weekly and an inverted hammer to take us back down? Keep an eye on the Russell, because the Russell usually is the canary in the coal mine that starts most moves. And if you zoom in from here, you can see I have a channel. This is an inverted down sell-off on the daily chart. It engulfed 3 days worth of action. Let's say this was the on 12/20, if you look at it through the 23rd, that was Friday, Monday, Tuesday, then the Thursday, and then Friday sold off. So we took out almost from Thursday, the week before, all that price action. This candle engulfed all these candles. Do we continue or reverse to continue higher? Keep an eye on the technicals. I will look at the Apple as well, AAPL. Similar situation, it's a doji. Amazon. Amazon, inverted. It went high to the 1893 area. You see that was the 78.2 fib on the daily chart. We looked into that consolidation area from here. We went up, came back down, consolidated, went up, consolidated, went up, came back, fell through. We retested this area, couldn't hold it, and we came back in. That's Amazon. That's BABA. BABA is at the high. Keep an eye of this is an engulfing candle if we end up selling off into the following week. Let's take a look at Facebook. I'm just going fast through these just to keep an eye on everything. Facebook is almost a double top or a new annual high for the year. Keep an eye if this is going to be a double top continuation or fall back through the cone. Let's take a look at Google. Google had the same situation. Look up, fell down on Friday, and FLX. NFLX had, consolidation on Monday. Then we came Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, fell back down. Then we hold the 200 SMA to create a handle to continue higher or fall back in below the 200, come back to the backside of the 316, 318 and see what it does there. Take a look at Tesla. Tesla ended up to be neutral, but it looked up and fell back down. If this candle engulfs this prior candle, the 2 days from Thursday, Friday, look for the backside of the channel where we broke out of. Take a look at when. Oops. When is almost a double top here. We still have this high. Let's call this area 1, area 2, area 3. If we cannot clear this area on when, look to come back in. Let's take a look at gold, GC. We called it in the group last week, GC over the weekend. That was a long. We got it around the 15, 14 and got out of the area. On the daily chart, it looked like a flag or a weekly, and we eventually had these two channels in here, and we continued higher. We broke up, tested this area. If it cannot clear that 24 area, it may come back halfway, and I'll show you on the weekly how it looks like, and we'll go break it down a little bit. So let's consider this. This is the pole. This is the flag. I had 3 ovals in this area. If we zoom in, we look at them. Had this oval here, first target, second, that's the 1508, 1507 area. We broke through it, continued, that was the POC. Looked towards the 24 area, couldn't get above these candle of consolidate, that rounded bottom and that consolidation of the peaks. Looked up and closed up positively. Keep an eye if we're going to stay bullish or bearish. Remember the 1477 was bullish on the weekly. We never fell back through that cone to the backside of this. We broke out on the weekly bar. That's a nice weekly bar coming out. On the daily, if I zoom in, it's showing the same thing. Let's just zoom in from here to here. We went up, looked up, we had candle 1, candle 2, candle 3, then consolidation. This is a doji. Do we reset back in the 1500, 1496 to continue higher? This is a round bottom. If we can create a cup here and continue higher, that would be great. I'd like to see it up in this area eventually in breakout. Let's take a look at CL. CL was basically all week grinding back and forth. We had the week before, dump on Friday, the Monday, then we had Thursday, Friday take off. That was the Monday, and then we took off doji consolidation. We're still in this up channel. I do have a lot of channels on this. I should basically eliminate this one right here because this is the same, height. Because if you connect this one, and that one there, that's three taps. If we break out, I'd like to see it eventually clear that Saudi Iran crisis when they hit, their wells. That was the reaction. Look up, come back down to the prior breakout, and consolidate for a couple of days, fall back in and grind back up in oil. Does oil want to be in the 65, 68, $72 range? Keep an eye on it. If not, look for halfway back to hold at least the 59, 63, 60 area to continue higher in oil. And let's go back to the ES one more time before I finish this video. Remember, since November 6-8, we've been grinding continuously higher. We reset on that week on 11/29. We came back in December 2nd, which is Monday, Tuesday, fell down a little bit. We looked below to that channel, that wedge that I had, that cone, touch it and bounce off, and we continued higher. We went side action for a couple of days and continued higher. We have about 11 pucks that never been revisited. We have 7 gaps that are in the price action on the ES. And once again, if I go from style, go to monkey bars, this will show you where the pucks are, value area high, value area low, and where most sentiment was on Friday. That 44 is very important, critical area. Let's call it 45, 44 to 40, 43 to 46 area. And anything above that, we need to fix the top. Anything below the 29 area 3029, which is this is a virgin POC, which we never retested. Remember, this area here on the 3-month daily, this is a virgin area. What I want to do, go from the daily to the weekly, okay, to show you what I want you to see in this price action. We looked up, came back down, closed in this area. That POC was never revisited. This is consolidation. We have another virgin control point here and further down. If I zoom down, you can see them. So if I do it on a 30-minute, it shows a little bit better. 10 days, 30-minute. You can see that that's the POC at 42. We looked at the 55 area and the overnight 54 area, came back down. This is where most sentiment is. This is where most sentiment is at the 31 to, let's call it between 30 to 28 area. That's a very important area that we don't want to lose, because this was the consolidation around the Christmas holiday. Thursday look up, Thursday, Friday overnight look up, fall back down. This is a virgin POC that we never revisited, and we got one down here as well at a lower area. If I go in, zoom out. Oh, it doesn't want me to do that. Okay, we can do it this way. So this is the other consolidation area that most people are not looking at, between the 30, let's call it the 3208 area, okay, 3208 to 3205, 3200. That's a very important consolidation area. We don't want to lose this, and we don't want to lose the 30, 29, 28, 27 area. This is not a consolidation before we went higher. Keep an eye on it, because if I do go to style in the setting, I do a futures and I uncheck the overnight, you'll see the gaps in the trade. There's a gap here. You see it? One here to here. And there's a gap between here and here. So these are the two gaps that we have in the overnight action from the S&P 500. Look forward to seeing you next week on a short week. We got Monday, Tuesday for the end of the year decade. Then we start 2020 on Thursday. Wednesday is a holiday. Hope everybody have a great, happy new year. Health, love, joy, happiness, and everything that you can accomplish in life. Money, whatever your goal is. But remember, do not set a goal that you cannot accomplish. Just go do what you do every day and set up something that can be done on regular basis, not something out of your league. So have a great week. Look forward to seeing you. Take care.